Give it a minute, and we're getting close. But Twitch should be up and running, so should YouTube, and so should Facebook. I'm showing offline on Twitch. Hold on. Okay. Okay, we're up. If you're watching a recording of this, do fast forward a couple of minutes. We are getting our technology up and running. Hello, everyone. We're almost there. Let's see, what am I missing here? Okay, so it looks like Facebook is up, Twitch is up. What else could be up? Oops, glasses on. All right, almost there. It's almost 12 o'clock, or sorry, almost 1 o'clock. Okay. So, I heard that, honey. So, is it nice outside? It is nice outside, but we don't get to go outside today because we're working. We are working. All right. Give it another minute. Okay, Patty, I was told to tell you to refresh, see what happens here. But we're pretty close. We're pretty close to where we need to be. Started just a couple of minutes late today, so I'm going to give it another minute, get everybody on, get everybody booted. It is Monday, you know, everything that comes with Monday. Here we are. What is going on next week? What are we doing next week? Do you have a list, babe? Let's see. Let's see, does anybody know what I'm doing next week? Totally forgot to see and prep up. Oops, let's see. So, I know, I can't even keep up with my own schedule. So if you're looking for the schedule of what's going on week to week, I do post it every week. I don't know, I want to say like Friday of every week for the following week. And just to show what we're doing. And let's see here. Wow. So what's happening this week? This week, Wine on Wednesday. Join me. Links up on the Q Talk Facebook page. If you don't have the link to the Zoom, do just go ahead and reach out and let us know, and we will get you a link. Anyway, okay, it's just past 1. Let's get started. Hi everyone. Today is Monday, August. Holy cow! How did we get to August? Oh, summer's halfway over. I know. I shouldn't say like that because it just makes everybody depressed, right? So, but it is August and it's Monday. It's Minimal Metal Monday. All projects on Monday are based on the Minimal Metal jewelry book that was published back in February. So all projects are either 18 gauge or 16 gauge wire, and we are coming up pretty quickly. I was counting last night, so I think we are at 24 minimal metal projects, which means we've officially exceeded the number that was in the book. I know, how did we get there? So let's see. So next week, what are we doing next week? I know we'll come back to what we're doing this week later. But next week on Monday, we're doing Lily of the Valley, which is this bracelet here. I can't remember if we're doing the bracelet first or the ring first, but actually you'll see this is the ring. It's a trio, so we're going to do 3 weeks, basic, similar designs, and they're all it's a set. Okay, so it's going to be a necklace, bracelet, and ring, and you can see here that I have a riff on that ring here. Okay, Twitch keeps freezing, don't know why. I believe that's going to be a function of Twitch today, so sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen, if there's a gentleman out there. So I don't know why it is fluttering, so apologize for that. Anyway, so that's Lily of the Valley for next week, and next week on Wednesday we're not doing a surprise project. We are actually going to a demo, and it's going to be how to maintain your flex shaft. You know, there were a few questions on that, so I thought we might as well just do a quick live on it so everyone can get on the same page and keep that flex shaft up and running, because you know we love our flex shaft. And then this Wednesday, however, we're doing a quick project too. This is Open Sesame. It is a touchless door opener. There are still some kits left. If you're interested in a kit, you won't get it by Wednesday, but we can still send them out. So, right now we're trying not to touch anything and keeping our hands away from germs and all that good stuff. So this allows you to keep it in your pocket and you can open doors with it. And there's going to be a stylus that comes with it. And so that you can use the touch pads and whatnot. So that's what's happening on Wednesday. And of course, on Friday, we are finishing up the Majestic pendant. If you are participating in that Zoom, that will be part 2 on Friday. So today, without much further ado, we have the lasso earrings. Yes, I know, we're doing another side-by-side wire soldering. So I hope you all prayed for me this morning because, this might be challenging today. We'll see. But fingers crossed, it'll be fine. It's a fairly simple project. If you've been following along, you should probably be able to figure out how to do this pretty quickly. Oh, it just occurred to me, I did not upload the PDF to make it available for download yet, but I will do it directly after we are done here. I meant to do that about 10 minutes ago and totally forgot. Oh well. Anyway, so for everything that you're seeing here, if you're looking for any of the product, and again, the download, you can find it at theurbanbeater.com, and the links are provided for you on the description of the Q Talk Live Facebook page. So you can find it attached to this video. We are currently simulcasting on YouTube, Facebook, Periscope, and Twitch. So if you're out there, do say hi, do give us a like or share our videos, because this is the only way that we can keep this going. We need to spread the word so that, again, gotta do all these things. And if you're on Twitch, don't just lurk out there, do say hi to us, tell us where you're twitching from or where you're watching Twitch from, because it's always very interesting to me. I find that on Twitch we have a much more international audience, and it's like, whoa. Oh, so where am I broadcasting from today? We're broadcasting from Northeast Ohio, somewhere between Akron, actually almost directly in between Akron and Cleveland. So I always said I lived in Akron, and now that I always said we lived in Cleveland, and now that we're down in Akron, I'm still saying that we live in Cleveland, but more in between. So, okay, there it is. Okay, so what are you going to need today? Let's go over it. Okay, tools today. Bench block. 2 of them would make life a lot easier, so we'll go with that. Chain nose pliers, or here I have some flat nose pliers, that works too. Heavy duty cutters, and or oops, I'm about to drop something on the side here. And or some ultra flush cutters. These are Lindstrom's, two of my favorite cutters. The Kiba heavy duty cutters and the Lindstrom's are the 2 that I use the most. A leather mallet, maybe, might be helpful. We'll see. Multi-looping pliers are going to be our friend today. Nylon nose pliers, and my other new favorite is the tweezers. Using tweezers lots and lots, and of course always have a soldering kit, because just about everything that we do has some soldering involved to it. So of course you're going to need some solder, a torch, pickle pot, all that good stuff, which is all sitting on the side, by the way. You will need some 18 gauge wire, whether it's copper, silver, or brass. It does need to be raw material. It cannot be plated. And I would not use nickel. It's not a thing. Anyway, or it's a thing. Okay, so today I'm going to go ahead and use brass and copper, although the sample was done in silver and copper. Okay, so whatever combination you want, you'll use that. You'll need an 8mm jump ring and a pair of earring wires, but I think I'm going to show you how to make earring wires today. Okay, I meant to grab that wire too, totally forgot. But the earring wires can be either 22 or 20 gauge wire, whatever makes you happy, and that'll work. And of course a ruler. Ruler's always helpful. Okay, so let's get started. First things first, we're going to cut the wire. You can anneal all your wire first if you want to, but you're going to need to cut some wire. About 2.5 inches is good. We'll need 4 pieces or so, depending on how you want your design to be. Okay, for me, so remember everything is in 2s. I'm doing 1 copper with the middle being silver, and then the inside being copper again. So there's going to be 2 pieces of copper and 1 piece of silver. Today I'm going to do 2 pieces of copper and 1 piece of brass. You'll need to double that up for a pair of earrings. Yes, I can zoom in. Okay, more? I thought I've zoomed in pretty tight. Well, I guess not. Okay, so here I've cut a piece of 18 gauge copper at 2.5 inches. We'll need 4 pieces of those to make 1 pair of earrings. Okay, I'm just going to make 1 earring today. And then we'll take out our brass and cut another piece, but that will be the middle. Okay, so we'll do it like so. Let's anneal these. Annealing is simply the process of heating the wire so that opens up those molecules to make it to make it more pliable or malleable. Okay, so we're going to heat it till we start seeing color changes. Do not heat it until you start melting. That's never good. Unless you want to melt it, that becomes a different story. And we'll quench this on the side and pickle it. Okay. Quench and throw it in the pickle. In the meantime, we'll take out our 8mm jump ring, and we're just going to cut that in half. Okay, right in half. 5mm jump rings are a little bit small for this project, so we're going to make a quick adjustment to it by taking out our chain nose pliers, and we're just going to pinch it down just a little bit and making it a little bit smaller. Like so. Wires are pickling on the side here, just like so. Okay, and actually, you know what, my cuts are not great. I'm going to go ahead and take out a file and with my pliers and holding them because it's so much easier, and I'm just going to file it just a little bit, just like that, just to take off any burrs or anything on those ends. Oops. So it rained all weekend, which means I was inside all weekend. Oh well. I hope you guys had a good weekend. Something a little bit more interesting than sitting inside all day. Here we are. Set that aside. Some of you may have noticed that you've received your schedule for Virtually Ever Crafting. I'm working on that all day today, so sooner or later you will be getting your schedule. Hopefully I did it right and that I got everybody's schedule correctly. If I did not, reach out to me and I will make those corrections for you. It's a much longer process than I thought it was going to be. So, okay, pulling things out of the pickle here. One piece still not pickled. Give it another minute. Yeah, give that another minute. In the meantime, these pieces will need to be straightened because we're going to solder them side by side. Okay, so easiest way to straighten them is between 2 bench blocks. Another thing you could do too is, of course, put them into a pair of nylon nose pliers and to pull them straight. But trust me, so much easier to do it with a 2 bench blocks. It needs to be straightened just a little bit. If it's too curved, it won't roll. So here we get out all the little wobbles. You see that? Look at that. All right. Okay. Woohoo. Let's see, the other piece is pickled. It was sort of hanging out of the pickle, so it was a little challenging. Still needs to be pickled a little bit more, but I'm going to go ahead and straighten it. It's nice and soft. There we are. Throw it back in the pickle for another minute here. Okay, in the meantime, let's set this up for soldering. So if you're doing silver, you can do all 3 of them silver too if you don't want a bicolor or a tricolor. If you're doing silver, you're going to start with hard. If we're doing copper and brass, I'm just going to use copper solder. Yes, I like to use copper solder, or I like to use solder paste because it's just really easy, especially for a process like this. And I just like to use a pin to place the solder. Okay, so, but because of copper oxide, I don't know which one is brass anymore, so I'm going to have to clean this up just a little bit and see what's up. See which one's brass. I believe it is this one. I'm going to straighten that again because I bent it. There we are. Okay, so here I have my honeycomb board because everybody keeps screaming at me, use your honeycomb board, because they roll all over the place. So I'm going to go with that. And so we're going to place solder in between the I'm going to place solder in between the wires because we're going to solder them together. Okay. There we go. And you don't need to spread this like peanut butter. You just need to put dabs along the edge. And actually I'm going to put it on both sides because we're going to solder on both sides of this. Okay. 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 So hey Patty, I heard that you're having some problems with Twitch. I will get with you afterwards and see if I can help you figure out how to resubscribe and whatnot. By the way, if you are on Twitch, we always appreciate it if you would subscribe. Okay, so see I have solder on one side. Actually, I'm going to put it on the other side too. So I'm just going to turn it over and put it on the other side so then I don't have to do the other one, right? And we're just going to put solder on the other side just like so, in a bunch of different spots because we're going to need the solder to run all the way down. And you want to make a connection all the way through because when you go to bend it, if it's not soldered, it's going to warp, okay? If it's not soldered evenly and thoroughly. Yeah, and I'm being a little aggressive with the solder today because, you know, we know what happened a few weeks ago. Okay, so we're going to put this down, and I'm going to put it along the grid to make it easier to keep it straight. And then I'm going to bring it close, like so. Good. And let's go grab the other piece out of the pickle. Okay. Much better. Drawing it on the side here. Alright, so we'll place it here. Like so. And we're going to bring it really close to one another so you can see. And I'm going to try to get at least one end even, but we'll trim it together anyway. Or we'll trim it at the end anyway, so. Like that, like that. Move the solder over here. Need a little extra solder there, okay? And then I'm going to pin it in place. And I'm using the grid to my advantage here to make sure that it is nice and straight. Okay. Okay, so we're going to just heat the entire thing. Make sure that you have a pair of tweezers in your hand should you need to squeeze them together just a little bit during the soldering process. And we're just going to heat the whole thing, get it nice and hot, especially if you're using silver. You've got to get everybody happy hot together. Doing copper, you can just hold it together like so. Let's see, we're just going to bring it together. Help it along. Just like that. Let's go to the other side. Make sure it's nice and together. Good. Ah, it's being nice today. So I also have it on top of the rotating solder station, so you can see it's really nice to be able to just spin it to whatever you want. So I got the solder to flow between both wires, all three wires, and all the way down the middle. Okay, we'll double check it after we quench. Okay, maybe not. We're stuck. There we are. Okay, beautiful. Okay, so 3 pieces all together. It looks like it's all good. So I'm going to go ahead and stick it in the pickle now. Before moving forward, just throw it in there. The next part, you're going to cut 1/4 inch pieces of wire, whatever color you want. You can do both colors or all 3 colors if you want. It's going to be for this finishing part up here. It just gives it a nice little finish. If you want to, you can also make a granule, because you know how I like balls, and add it to the top. Okay, so here we'll just cut 1/4 inch piece, cut 2 of them. Actually 4 if you're making a pair of earrings, okay? Okay. There we are. I'm going to use brass today for that part. And then, what happened to my, oops. And then you're going to need those half jump rings, okay? Let's see how we're doing in here. Okay, we're lost in the pickle. Okay, I can't find it in the pickle. Don't you just love it when you lose pieces in your pickle? There we are. Okay, come on. Come on, baby. Come out of the pickle. There we are. Okay. Okay. So, let's trim the ends. We're going to use Akiba cutters because it's a little heavy at this point. When you're making a pair, you'll match these up to the other one. Make sure that that they are the same length. That will ensure that your pieces will be your lengths. I'm sorry, your lengths, your units will be the same size. So make sure that you cut your pieces the same at this point. Okay. And here I'm going to use 2 pairs of nylon nose pliers. This way I won't ruin anything, but you could use your chain nose. Just be careful, or your parallel pliers would be even better. Okay, and I'm just going to bend it to the side. Actually, I say that. I'm going to start here. There we go. Easier said than done, huh? Okay, never mind. I'm going to bend it with my hands. And you want to keep these flat. And we're going to come together. This will curve up. Can you see that? You can see it on this side too, see? But we're going to bring the ends, you see, side by side so that they're facing up, okay? Alright. Should be nice and soft for you because we've been heating it quite a bit. And here, I'm going to take an extra step of bending this end out just a little bit, like so. Can you see that? It sort of straightens it out a little bit, and this one too, so that they become a little bit more side by side. So as much as this is a U or a horseshoe, up here it's straight so that you can bring them together. So I'm just going to push it past to create tension and see if I can get that to connect. Perfect. Okay, so I think you can see that they're nice and side by side. Do they have to be perfect? No, it's just sort of anal retentive, because what's going to be next is I will put those 2 brass wires on top and it will connect it anyway. Okay, and here I'm going to make sure that my cuts are actually straight. I see that they are not, so I'm just going to help it out just a little bit. make sure that they're straight. Okay. Okay, we'll put it down like so. Not too flat. I want it to be flat so that my wires don't roll off, so I'm just gonna give it a little bit extra love. And we're just place it right on there. And we're going to pin this in place just so, because you know, we can, and we have the capabilities, so why not? So next we'll put some solder right on top and then also on the end for soldering your jump ring, your half jump ring on, like so. Okay, jump ring is still a little bit too wide, so I'm going to go ahead and tighten that up just a little bit. Just like so. Okay. And let's see, does that fit? Yep, it fits nicely there. So, solder. Take out that pin. Let's put a little solder. I'm going to put solder on top of each side of the wires, not just one side, but both sides, because you want to make that connection. And I'm going to put it on the ends here too, because you need to solder the jump ring on. And I'm going to do it in one shot. I know, again, tempting fate here. It is, you know, this is why you tune in, because you want to see what a nut I am. Okay, so we're going to put our jump ring there, but I can see that I do not have enough solder. Okay. I am using, oh, which one was I using? Oh, I was using the 4th largest, so 1, 2, 3, 4, this one. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. The question was which section of the multi-looping plier am I using to create the jump ring? So it's the 4th one. It's close enough. Is there a conversion chart for it? Actually, the sizes are listed. Honey, if you can provide a link for everyone. Actually, no, the link is on the Q-Talk page. Go to the multi-looping plier on our website, and it does show the sizes on there. Okay, so I actually added some more solder. Can you see that on the end of the jump ring, because there just wasn't enough there. And I'm going to carefully place it butted right on the end. And if you can actually see that the ends are not perfect here, because we're just going to trim it when we're done here. Okay, so now we'll heat it. We'll heat the whole thing, of course. Heat everything, especially if you're doing silver. If you're doing silver, we're going to medium solder. If you can't do this in one shot, go to medium solder and then do your jump ring with easy. Okay, and hopefully that's soldered. Okay, I think that did it. I get a little bit more there. Okay, deep breath. Remember, if you're doing copper, you do need a moment to let it set. It doesn't set right away like it doesn't set like right away like your silver. Okay. All right, let's see. Oof, I don't know. That jump ring looks a little sketchy. I don't know if you can see that, but here we are. Quench it. Let's check it. Oh yeah, definitely sketchy. So we'll do that again. I'm going to stick it in the pickle, and then we'll do it again. But the other piece is on. Yay! Okay, so while it's pickling, let's make some earring wires. Okay, so you'll cut somewhere between, I don't know, 2 1/4 and 2 1/2 inches of wire if you want to make your own earring wire. And you'll want to do it out of, again, 20 gauge or 22 gauge. Some people find that 20 gauge hurts their ears because it's a little too heavy. So I'm cutting these at 2 1/4, right? Did I cut it at 2 1/4? No, I cut them at 2 1/2. Oops, but that's okay. You'll see. All right, make sure that you file the ends. I'm going to file one end first, and then I'm not going to file the other until I figure out whether or not I like them long. Okay. So just to take off the burrs, and this is what's really great about having your multi-looping pliers, you can do it in tandem. So I'm going to use the smallest section. I'm going to make a really, really tight loop. See that? And I'm going to bring it right around. You see? Okay. And then I'm going to pull it out, still holding it together. Holding it together. I did it so tight it's kind of coming out. And then I'm going to put it in the second to largest section. And we'll put it there. And we're just going to bend it down. Look at that. I have a pair of earrings. Okay. And then, I don't know why, but I like to come down here and I like this little bend out here. Okay. And then we'll just trim that. So that was 2.5, 2.25 would have done it. 2 inches would have done it too, but depending on how you like your earring wires, of course. And that's it. And if you want to, you can even hammer these shoulders. And sometimes, you know, earring wires, they do that so that it doesn't slip out easily. So that's another way of approaching it too. Okay. All right, set that aside. Let's go see what's happening in the pickle. All right, we are pickle. And I know this jump ring is going to fall off here. Watch. Doink. Actually, I'm going to have to help it fall off, but it bent too easily. So we'll just put it back on. And this is where you're going to go to easy solder. If we're using copper, it is just straight up copper solder. What I do with it. Oh, over here. And we're just going to put a little bit there. I'm going to put it on the back side. Can you see that? I flipped it over, I put it on the back side right at the joint of each side of the jump ring, and I'm going to ask the solder to come up. Okay? And again, heat the whole thing. If it's silver, copper, we're just going to be right here, right on the joint. There's one. And that should have done the other one. Still feel like it's sketchy though. Why are you being so sketchy on me? Oh, maybe not. Maybe I'm just nervous. Oh. Okay. It is sketchy. Unbelievable. Okay. Yep. It's sort of wobbly. Well, I'm not going to pickle. I'm just going to do another one. I just gonna put more solder on. I don't know why. Solder is dissipating and it looks like it flowed, but it didn't flow where I want it to flow, which is really disappointing. And it got so red that I assumed that it flowed, which it's just physics. It did flow. It just didn't flow where I wanted it to flow. Hard telling. Again, heat the whole thing. I know, living life dangerously here. Not pickling. Okay. See, it's so red. It has to flow. It's just a matter of flowing where you want it to flow. And I think part of it is because it's so heavy in this area that it didn't get hot enough, that everything else got hot, right? Because you have this barrier to where you want it to be. Yep, there we go. Okay. Throw it in the pickle again. Alright, so we're just about finished. So all you're going to do here is liver sulfur it, maybe, if you want to, or not. And I'm going to, where's my liver sulfur? So I have my jar of water, forgot to heat it up. We're just going to heat it up in the microwave very quickly. And then we'll throw some liver sulfur in there. Let's see. Yes, studio microwaves are the best. So I happen to have some liver sulfur pellets because I've had it for 10 years. But anymore, you can buy the the liquid. It's a little bit, I don't know why people think it's easier, but it's more or less the same stuff. And you just put a couple drops into some warm water, and that will activate it and get it going. You could do it in cold, it just takes more time, that's all. All right. Okay. I also like using a pair of plastic tweezers. I don't know why, I feel like they corrode my metal ones, so I don't use the metal ones. And if you don't like putting your fingers in this stuff, you definitely want to just put it on like a piece of copper wire and dip it, okay? Because then your fingers are going to be smelly. Okay. Pulling it out of the pickle. Could be in the pickle a little bit longer, but we'll just go with that, and we'll stick it in. Okay, we're not working today. Oh, there it goes. Taking its time today. Don't know why. Interesting. Okay, make sure you rinse it. That will deactivate it. Oh, look, my hair's sticking out today. Alright, so make sure you quench it with a lot of water. That will halt the process. And then pull out some steel wool or a brass brush and clean it up. That's it. If your brass looks like copper, that's because it's copper oxide. You'll have to work a little bit harder. So you can see that my brass here, this is brass going across the top. It looks just like copper right now. Again, it's copper oxide that's coming up to the surface because what is brass? Brass is zinc and copper, mostly copper. Just not with, I think, anywhere between 5 and 10% zinc, depending on where you buy your brass and which kind of brass you buy. So you need to help it come back to life, okay? And again, you don't need to liver sulfur this unless you like it oxidized. And I'm just going to sit here and keep working on this until it's nice and clean. That's all. You might want to take out a little sandpaper, might make it a little bit easier for you, depending. So that really brings out the brass. Oh, and I forgot, I didn't trim the ends. Let's trim the ends. Okay, see? So just by putting some sandpaper on it, you can see that the brass has really come back, okay? And then you can take it and clean off the rest. Now, the liver sulfur does get a little bit more depth, if you like that, and you know, that nice antique look. Not everybody's into it. Frankly, I'm not that into it, but it's nice to show. Okay, so I'm just going to go to the end here, trim it like so, on both ends, nice and even, and take out your needle file, or just any file really, and file those ends. For everyone who's just joining, thanks for swinging by. We're actually almost done. But you can always go back to the recording and watch it both on Twitch and on Facebook. Oh, and YouTube. So, if you want to see the rest of it, there it is. So here we are. Oh, so now we take out our chain nose pliers and just add it on, just like so. So there's our earring, okay? Any questions out there? It was a pretty simple project today. We did a little add-on of making earring wires, but pretty straightforward. So apparently the lag on Twitch is horrible, so we're going to give it a minute for everybody to catch up. So, okay. Wow, the lag on Twitch is crazy. I'm still filing apparently. So if you have any questions, let me know. If I didn't get to your questions here, I will get to your questions after, or you can just send me a message directly to my Facebook and we will answer it there. Don't forget, we have wine on Wednesday after our Open Sesame class, which is at 4:30. The link to the Zoom cocktail is let me think about this. Oh, is on the Q Talk Facebook page. Virtually Ever Crafting, yay, is just a little more than a week away. We're pretty excited about that. Kits and schedules and things are being shipped out today. If you haven't registered yet and you want a kit, you gotta register like within the next few days if you're going to get it in time. Also, it hasn't been like really publicly announced, but I'm announcing it now. We are doing a virtual cocktail for the Virtually Ever Crafting weekend too on that Friday. You'll see it in your schedule. I'll post that publicly soon here. So if you want to join us for that, we have several vendors who have committed to show their stuff. We've reached out to quite a few more. Haven't heard back. Hopefully we'll get more vendors to come by and so that you can do a little shopping. You know, we all miss the beach shows. We all miss the conferences and going to see all the wonderful all of the wonderful shiny stuff, you know, your cabochons and your beads and the jewelry and whatnot. Some of our instructors will also be vending during this event so we can show their support for that. But in the meantime, I have Dragonfly beads, Parawire, and who else? I can't think. I have right now like 4 people on the hook. Oh, the Urban Beater, of course. Kim Fox is bringing all her findings, and who was the other one? There was somebody else. Anyway, and then I have a group rep who's thinking about it, who reps like 4 or 5 different vendors. So trying to get him to come, and then he'll just have a whole bunch of other stuff. Oh, I know. Wild Things will also be there. So they have a lot of stuff. A lot of vintage check beads and just some unusual things that they sell. So we're excited to see them. They're longtime friends of ours. Anyway, so thanks for hanging out, everyone. Thanks for being here and supporting us and continuing to like and share our videos. It's important to us to get the word out. And so I think that's it. Any other questions? If not, we'll see you on Wednesday for Open Sesame. Pretty excited for that too. Yay. Something that I can use, something that you can use on well, you shouldn't be going out every day, but on a daily basis. So that said, all right, have a great day. Enjoy the weather out there. It has been beautiful. We've opened up all the windows in the house, so it's no longer humid here, at least for the moment, right? And hopefully it's not humid where you are. And we'll see you on Wednesday. Thanks for hanging out.